reclaiming, oh, I have choice and I can contribute not only to my own life outcomes, but to the life outcomes of a whole, of, you know, 1, 2, 10, however many children you have.
Yeah. And I feel almost that's actually what, like when I think back, especially because I used to be a teacher, a primary school teacher. I was in the classroom for 3 years. It was 8 years ago now, so I don't know what classrooms are like now. But it also feels like that's what the children are almost requesting of us through their behaviour, because it's no longer the way we've been doing it, is no longer relevant and no longer applies, and they're really pushing up against it. They're going, nah, this is bullshit. Give me something else, please. So they're almost also kind of, in a way, forcing us into that so we can resist, or we can step up and go with it and be. I strongly feel that they're here to teach us, and I've learned so much from working with children, but they require us to guide them. So, because there can be this misconception about holistic parenting, natural parenting, gentle parenting, aware parenting, again, whatever label you want to put on it, that it's the other extreme, and it's just this kind of hippy dippy free range. Let them do whatever they want. So that's one perception of it, and one, I suppose some people might apply it in that sense as well, because everyone's different and will apply whatever is relevant to them. But to me, it's more like somewhere in between, you know, where they're also, and I'll be talking about boundaries on navigating boundaries on Wednesday night, but it feels like we've gone the other extreme with boundaries, and we're almost too scared to affirm safe, consistent boundaries. And actually, to me, holistic parenting is about being safe and firm and consistent about that, and reasonable, but without this authoritarian, limiting approach that we've experienced for the past few generations.
And I love that you're doing that, Melissa, because I feel like the reason why it's swung the other way is because people don't know how to put boundaries in place that isn't the author, because that's how we've always known. Discipline and is how the line was drawn, you know?
Yes.
And so how do we have a boundary that is clearly and healthily communicated? How do we be consistent without being authoritarian and using punishment? And, you know, it's, but also recognizing consequences.
Yeah. And still allowing the child to feel safe and held by that container, because there is a firm boundary in place, but it's elastic and flexible, and it evolves as the children does, and it doesn't hold them to limitation, you know. It's such a fine line, and there's almost this fear now of being, and I used to have it as well, like I would be afraid of not being liked by the children, because sometimes it does mean you're not liked for a little while.
Yeah, I'm experiencing that right at the moment. There's even just this last week, I have a 13-year-old, and he was asking about social media, and I'm like, I just have to be the disappointing parent in this moment, and that's just part of, we're not their friends, we're their parents.
Yeah. And actually they feel safe by that. Yeah, so being okay with not being liked is such a huge part of affirming. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Like if you try to be liked by everyone, you will spend your whole life being codependent and turning into a pretzel.
Yes, and exhausted and tired. Yeah, because I used to do it. Still working on it, but yeah.
Totally. I'm a recovering people pleaser.